Hi everyone, I'm Tech Bob and welcome to eTech Facebook Live Fridays. Today I'm going to be talking about the iPhone 14 and what you need to do to be prepared for the upcoming Apple launch. The event is next week on the 7th at, I believe it's 10 a.m. Pacific time, so just make sure you're watching on the right time zone. This event in September is typically centered around a new phone and everything is pointing to iPhone 14. We've partnered with a couple accessory people to get those accessories in advance, so we have that we're going to review today. We're also going to talk about other things to be prepared for the launch, such as repair and just overall marketing things. So to kick it off, what I have in front of me right here are some cases and some tempered glass for the 4 phones. And at this point in time, the naming, structure, it looks like it's going to be the iPhone 14. The 14, the 14 Pro, the 14 Max or 14 Plus, that's the one that's iffy on naming, and the 14 Pro Max. One thing you notice it's missing there is the Mini. Nothing we have seen so far indicates that there will be a 14 Mini, and what they've done is replace that Mini with a Max version that's not Pro. So basically you have the small and the big version, and you have a Pro and you have a non-Pro version. So that's what the mix of devices looks like. It does not look like there's going to be cross-compatibility, at least for cases or accessories, because the phones are slightly bigger than the 13 series were. I have a 13 Pro as my personal phone, and I have the 14 Pro accessories here that I'm going to just kind of do a side-by-side comparison so you can see what we're looking at. With that being said, we'll switch over to my other camera where you'll see that overhead comparison. Scott, just let me know where I'm at in the camera. Did it rotate?
23.
There we go. Right on there. Cool. One thing I'm going to do real quick before I start that, I'm going to check the comments on the video just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Mute that. Live chat. Okay. Have that open over there. All right. So right here I have the case for an iPhone 14 Pro and the tempered glass for an iPhone 14 Pro. I'm going to start with the glass just to kind of show what it looks like. At first glance, so this version of glass does not have the notch cut out. There are those options out there. This one just has a little speaker opening. Compared to the iPhone 13 Pro, the opening for the speaker does look smaller. So I'm going to take the case off of my phone real quick. And then I'm going to lay that tempered glass piece over it. And as you can see, it looks like if I line it up at the bottom, it does slightly cover my speaker. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit there. See, it does slightly cover my speaker right there. So it does indicate that the phone will most likely be bigger, so the tempered glass will sit a little further down, not covering it. I'm sure this would work on this 13 Pro, but it might interfere with the sound coming from the earpiece speaker. And then next up I have the case. One of the case brands that we've been using for a while now is called MyBat or MyBat Pro. Pretty solid cases, especially for the price. When you sign in on our website with your account, you'll get a discounted price. So what you see just without signing in is going to be the MSRP, and then it drops a little bit below that once you sign in. So I'm going to unbox this one real quick. And we do have the MyBat cases for all 4 versions of the 14 series phone coming out. So here, this is just a clear TPU case. It doesn't provide a whole lot when it comes to drop protection, but will definitely help at least for, I would say, under 5-foot falls and scratches and dust, debris, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the case on there. Make sure my calendar isn't showing. And I don't know if you noticed, but it pressed like Siri was being activated, and the reason for that, the power button is slightly shifted. It's hard to tell on the camera, but the power button on my phone is slightly above where the notch is here on the iPhone 14 Pro case. And if I look on the other side, there's also this additional opening, which my guess would be that it's for a speaker output or some type of other sensor or microphone, because the 13 Pro does not have anything over here. You can see there's nothing on the phone, but there's something there. As far as fit, the openings for the microphone and the speaker are the exact same size. Same thing goes for the port. I know that there's been mention out there that they might finally switch over to the USB-C style port. If they did, it would be hard to tell based on the case. The opening should be the same size relatively to the phone, so shouldn't affect anything there. Camera side, I did want to speak to a little bit. You can see the opening here is a little bit bigger past the glass on my iPhone 13 Pro, so that does indicate they will have a slightly bigger rear glass area for the cameras. Don't know much about the specs on the cameras just yet. I'm sure we'll find all that out next Wednesday, but it does indicate that it will be a bigger area right here. So like I said, fit wise, you could probably get by with this case. You might run into some issues with the power button though. If you put a little bit of pressure, it might activate the Siri function if you have that turned on with the power button, but it does go onto the phone, just not exactly to where it should be. Turn that off. But again, this is the MyBat version of the case. Pretty solid cases. I'll grab a couple of the other versions here. This is for the Pro Max. This is for the 14 Max, and you can see the difference here. Sorry for that glare. The Pro version, so the 14 Pro Max and the 14 Pro have way bigger rear camera areas compared to the Max and the 14 versions, because at least for everything we've seen so far, the 14 and the 14 Max will only have a dual camera, as to where the Pro series will have the 3 camera that we see on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max series. So those are the cases. Tempered glass I covered. We do have individual tempered glass. We also have the bulk packs, so if you do like to carry the 10 packs, it's a little bit better cost-wise when you're selling the install. If, say, you're selling the tempered glass to a customer, we'd recommend the retail package ones like this, but these bulk ones are great for offering that service. One thing I would recommend on the marketing side is, as soon as those phones start releasing, whether it's from a pre-order or from people just buying them at the stores, put out there on your Facebook, Instagram, all your social, which is a free marketing platform, as well as maybe some banners or signs, whatever your city allows, that you have accessories for the 14 series. Because we've all seen that video going around. I forget which phone it was, but one of the new iPhone that launched, guy walks out of the Apple store and literally right out of the box drops it and cracks the phone. No one wants to break their phone right out of the box, so make sure you advertise that you have the tempered glass with the screen protectors, as well as the cases to support that. An additional item, which I don't know if you can see on the smaller camera over here, I just pulled out our Protection Pro machine. This is one of the original versions we've had for a while. We still sell the machines in the film, and the reason I brought this one out is these physical accessories, unless you order them now, you probably won't get them in time for the event or when the phones release. Probably by the time people will get the phones, but by the event Wednesday with the holidays, you may not get it in time. Protection Pro is really good about updating the files as soon as phones launch, once they have the specs. So I would anticipate we'll see that update here in the next couple weeks, if that, maybe sooner. But pretty easy, you just go on the app, show the look for the phone, and you can cut. You already have the film for it, you're just cutting it out to the 14 series size. So if you have Protection Pro, super easy to have that upgraded option of the new phones because it's all software controlled. So that's Protection Pro side. The final thing I wanted to speak through was on the repair side. So a lot of the times repair shops aren't really prepared for when a new iPhone launch happens, or really any big device launch happens, because you think, oh, I don't have the parts available for this new phone that people are going to be breaking, I can't repair it. You're typically correct unless there's some cross compatibility, which we don't know yet, but what you can do is offer repairs either at a discounted rate or just advertise, hey, I'm fixing phones up to the 13 series. If you're upgrading your phone, you're getting that new 14 series, get your phone fixed so you get your full trade-in value. Or if you are on that iPhone Forever plan or a lease with the phone, typically if you try to turn the phone in with damage, you get maybe 20% of its value credited, if that, and you have to pay out the rest, which sometimes can be upwards of $500-800, which no one wants to do. They come to you, get the screen repaired, get whatever repaired on it, and typically, if you do have the option for LCD versus OLED, it doesn't matter if you put an LCD version on if you're turning the phone in. The carriers, no one really cares about that. They just care if the phone is fully functional and has no damage on it. Those are the two big ones. If you don't have that, then you're good to go. But definitely be pitching that to your customers. If they come into your shop and say, oh no, I don't need to get this phone fixed, I'm going to get the new one, just make sure they are aware of that they don't get full value if they don't outright own the phone, or if, say, they're trading it in, it's substantially less if the phone is damaged. So advertise that, maybe do 10% off, 15% off. I know right now, especially in the fall to winter, sometimes there's a little bit of drop in repair sales. You want to do anything you can to help reverse that, which a special on phone repair centered around an Apple event is a great way to do that. We just don't see a whole lot of that happening anymore, but it is a good one to take advantage of because people do have broken phones right now and they don't realize that difference in value until they go and turn the phone in. But with that being said, those are all the key points I had to cover. Let me make sure we didn't miss any comments that we'll answer here live. Let's see. Thanks, George. Mark's Dizon. Sorry if I butchered your last name, but you said cool. Don't really see any question. Oh, there's one. You might want to start using these kinds of cases for your upcoming phone. Yeah. Again, these are all good comments centered around the phone. What we're going to be doing as a sort of part 2 and 3 of this one, we've kind of thought about having a 3-part series. This is the anticipation of the launch next week. Next Friday will be a review of the event. We would do it the same day, but we're trying to keep to the same structure. So next Friday, we'll cover what our thoughts are on the event. Apple may sneak another device in there, like another watch or an iPad. Who knows? Sometimes all of the information you see out there is spot on. Sometimes it's off. So either way, we'll cover all that next Friday. And then either the Friday after that or once the phone is available, we want to get our hands on at least one of the series, the phones in the series, whether it's the 14, 14 Pro, 14 Max, or 14 Pro Max, to tear it down live and show you the difference in the repair process and also parts compatibility. Like I said, I don't believe at this time that there's going to be a lot of cross compatibility between the 13 series and the 14 series, but never say never. There's always that chance that, hey, they reuse like a battery for some reason, which we've seen with other devices where they reuse one part but not the other. So we'll cover that in the upcoming streams, but that's all we had for today. Just wanted for this to be a quick one and get everyone's attention on the 14 series. Make sure you watch the event. Again, it's free for everyone. It's streamed. You just go to Apple's website. You can click on the link. It'll take you to the stream. If you miss it for some reason, say you're busy at 10 a.m. Pacific time, no worries. They do record it, so you can always watch it later. But you definitely want to watch it sooner rather than later, just so you're prepared with the information that's available. You may get customers calling you. We get the odd call every now and then asking if we recommend purchasing a new phone, and it's up to the person, the user, but we give our input as far as what's the difference, if it's worth going from like a 13 Pro Max to a 14 Pro Max, because there have been iPhone releases where the two phones weren't that different. 10 to 10S is a good example of that. Not a whole lot of difference there. Not saying that'll be the case with the 14 series, but it's possible. But that's all I have for today. One final thing before we end the stream. Scott's going to switch over to our website screen stream. He's going to show you where you can find these accessories in one easy place. You're going to hover over the accessories menu item, and then we created a category that just says iPhone 14 accessories. And all of the tempered glass and the cases are in there. So if you're wanting to get prepared before the phone launches, this is a perfect place to go. You can just stock up on some of the stuff here. We do have a pretty good amount of all the items, so feel free to order more than one. But that's the easiest way to find it. Additionally, if you hover over the Apple category in our menu bar, you'll see we've added the 4 series there. You won't find any parts in there just yet because there aren't any. But once the parts do start filtering through, that's the place to find them. But that's all I had for today. Thanks everyone for joining, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see everyone next Friday.